Okay, hello ladies. Thank you for coming to the meeting today. I would like all of you guys to please sign in the sign-in sheet, name, title, and the grade level that you teach. Okay. The reason for this meeting is to discuss and identify areas of need that we need to observe during walkthroughs. Also, we're going to review some simple forms, walk through simple forms, and then identify things that we would like to include in our own walkthrough form. And then I would like to select one of you guys to observe using the new walkthrough form.
Well, I think that maybe one of the things that needed to be to be discussed is that, the classroom objectives, that's a good thing. That can be a positive thing. But not only having it up there, I mean, everybody can write their objectives and have them up there, but do we really use them, or do the kids know what their objectives are for the week?
Yes.
That's maybe that can be one of the focus, is that I can tell, or I can't do, or I can, because all of us can write them up there, but do we really use them, and do the kids know them?
Yes.
I think that's, and instead of just putting them up there, make sure that we discuss them with the children.
Yes, that is correct.
And in a positive manner, go over them, like maybe on Monday what your objectives are for the week, and just keep reminding them.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so I'm gonna go over what is a walkthrough. We are familiar with walkthroughs. We have had them in the past. Some of them have been not positive, or some of them we don't even get feedback back, right? We don't know what we did right or wrong, correct? So I'm gonna go over a little bit about what is a walkthrough, or why do we need walkthroughs. And I found this article online talking about walkthroughs. And walkthroughs, the reason principals do walkthroughs is because they have a lot of benefits. One of the benefits is that it creates a cycle of continued improvement in the classroom. It provides us also with data that we can use about instruction to better instruction for our students. We also gain kind of like an inside view into the classroom, and it allows us to observe instructional strategies that are happening within the school that we may not be aware of otherwise. It also kind of set up the climate for the whole school, whether it is a positive climate, a collaborative climate, or if it's not positive, what can we do about it? And it allowed the principals and administration to be in continued communication with the teachers and students. So those are some benefits of walkthroughs. And I understand we all kind of dread them, but they do have a purpose. Walkthroughs can also assist teachers in their ability to deliver instruction by using the data that we have gathered from the process and discuss with the teachers. Some things that a walkthrough needs to have before we conduct a walkthrough is clear communication. And clear communication means you need to know why we are conducting a walkthrough. What is the main reason? What area we are trying to observe? So in that way, we can support teachers based on the walkthrough feedback that we get. Another area is the focus should be continued improvement. Okay. Walkthroughs can be used as a method to create a focus on the improvement of instruction. When we gather the data, we can see areas of need within the school. For example, if the students are not, let's say, understanding inference, by doing a walkthrough, we can observe, well, is the objective being introduced, like Ms. V says? Are the kids understanding what to do? Are we explaining it? Are we going over it every day? So those are data that allow us to see why the reason why some students are not understanding certain aspects. They also help us generate some questions and ideas about what else to do to improve our future instruction. A walkthrough should also be a collaboration process, right? It's not just the administrator doing the walkthrough, but also the teachers should be involved in the walkthrough. They should have a say, so they should, like I said, they should know the reason why we're conducting a walkthrough. They have to have a specific focus. For example, a walkthrough might be used to observe instructional strategies used in the classroom. Maybe another walkthrough can be to observe the learning instruction objectives that are presented clearly to the students. Another one might be to see how the students respond. Are the students engaged? Are the students following directions? Are they understanding what's being taught? One walkthrough could be also to see how formative and summative assessments are being administered within the classroom. Classroom walkthroughs can also serve as positive change in school. It can be a practice that enables school leaders to gather valuable data and feedback to foster improvement in instruction and benefit students. The purpose of walkthroughs should always be made clear to everyone involved, that is teachers and the person that is doing the walkthrough, the administrator. When walkthroughs are used positively, they can build and create a positive and lasting change within the school. Now, that's the information I have about why we do walkthroughs, because most of the time we think, like Ms. said, we think that they're just going to tell us everything that we're doing wrong. But they have a purpose, they serve a purpose. So now we need to identify what are some areas that need to be observed during a walkthrough. And I'm gonna give you ladies about 5 minutes to jot down any areas you think we might need to observe within the classroom.
Do you think, Ms. Proctor, there should be only the admin people, or should it just be like the principal doing the walk-in or the curriculum specialist?
I think
Or
it
should
needs to
maybe
be a collaboration of admin team and other teachers, because when you're in your classroom all day long, you don't see maybe what some other teacher is doing that might could help you improve what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be to have like one admin, one teacher, and like I don't think that the walkthrough should be like only 1 or 2 people. It should be a team, like maybe 3 or 4, because one person cannot observe Oh, is she doing the objective? Oh, yeah. How is that the kid, is he responding correctly? I mean, they can be in every area, but if there's like 4 of them or 5 of them, and they're gonna go the walkthrough, one person can dedicate themselves to one area. The other one's gonna dedicate themselves to that area. And then they can come together and collaborate. And then I think that would be a more positive, they would give you a more truly what they're doing. What do you think?
What do you
Yeah.
think?
I agree. If you remember several years ago, that's how they did it. They'd have 4 people come in, and one would be looking for your objective, and one would be looking for what the kids were going to be learning, and one would be looking at what you were doing, and one would be looking at how the kids were responding or what the kids were doing. And that kind of gave a more rounded observation of what actually was going on in your classroom.
Mhm. Yes, I agree. It's better to have more than one set of eyes than just one person perspective. Anything else?
Yeah, another way it could be a possibility of doing a walkthroughs is if it's not done as a group, it can be done by different people doing the observations. Like for example, the principal would do the observation one time, and the following observation can be done by the assistant principal. And then the next one could be by the curriculum specialist. And then maybe another observation could be a walkthrough could be done by as a whole group. So because sometimes some administrative person can see the benefits of doing the walkthrough and looking the positive observations the one teacher is doing, and the other one might be focusing in something else, like behavior in the classroom or
Yes.
student engagement, or if the teacher is following the lesson, where is including all the process of the lesson plan. So it could be also like an alternative way to do another
Instead of
walkthrough.
just one person?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. That would be a lot
Like
better.
with different administrator people
It
with
gives you
different
different
type of,
perspectives.
yes.
Yes, I agree. That's a good point. Yes, I agree, because yes, one person might have just one thing in mind, but the other people can see with that, like I said, different set of eyes, clearer per se. Yes. Okay. Different perspectives.
In the classroom, the assistant teacher.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, so now those are really good thoughts about how a walkthrough should be. And I agree. It's better, like I said, to have more than one person observing you than one person, which well, but that can be intimidated too a little bit.
When it's an individual person, it could be the assistant principal or the curriculum specialist. It's not so much as if we see 8 people watching you at the same time.
Yes.
For the teacher is kind of
Overwhelming. Like
yes.
like a
It's
fish
having 4, 5, 6 people.
Yeah.
Because the first thought that a teacher is going to have is,
what am I doing wrong?
exactly, and what all these people are going to be thinking about, what I'm following my lesson, if I'm clear with my objectives, if the students are participating and understanding the lesson. So, and then you might have different opinions from everybody.
Yes.
So when they sit down and talk to you, you're gonna get opinions, many different opinions from many different people who did the walkthrough. So but when it's an individual, the teacher, the administrator can see and focus in one thing, while the other walkthrough done by the assistant principal could be focused in some other points the walkthrough.
Yes, I agree.
And sometimes when there's more than one person, if there's 5 or 6 people that come into your classroom at one time, it intimidates the students too.
Yes, they do. Yes, that's true. The kids are kind of wondering who all
Yeah.
those people out and what
They
what
feel
is
more
doing.
comfortable if they see just one
Just one person,
person.
yes.
Mm.
So there is pros and cons about being observed by either one person or a group. And yeah, I understand that too.
I don't know. I like it if they come in a group because it gives you, more, it gives you more of a real of what your room is really looking at. Because I mean, if you look at it, you have 21 students anyway.
Yes.
You have 21 students. And yes, as a teacher, you're looking at all the students where they're going. But if that person is just focusing on one area and the other person is focusing in another area, you're going to get more of a real observation.
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, yeah, it's not like an hour that they're going to be there. They're going to be what there, 30 minutes, 20 minutes,
15
15,
minutes.
you
not
know,
long.
and it would not, I don't think it would intimidate the kids. I mean, you would, if you already knew that they were coming, you get your class ready. You know, you tell them.
Yes.
And
that's
they
true.
usually will do okay, you know. There's a lot of ways of managing.
But a lot of the walkthroughs that we've had, we didn't know they were gonna happen.
Yeah.
They
No,
just walked in.
They just
Yeah.
came in. And see, that's one thing about walkthroughs. I believe they
Yes.
should be
Scheduled.
scheduled so the teacher know what's going on. Because sometimes
Mhm.
maybe you already, and it happened to me. You have already gone through the objectives. The kids know the objectives and everything, and they come when the kids are doing individual work. Well, they didn't see you presenting the lesson to the students. They didn't see you as a teacher going over the objectives and giving them directions, and the students responding and participating. The only thing they see is the kid is working on a worksheet because they miss all that other part. So yeah, I think they should be scheduled so they can get a more accurate picture of what's going on in the classroom. Next thing on the agenda is I'm gonna give you guys, ladies, these are some simple forms of observation. All of them are different. Some of them might be simpler. Some of them might be kind of more difficult. What I need you ladies to do is you can choose one. You see highlighted and kind of highlight the areas that you think we should keep in the walkthrough form that we will that we're going to create. I'm gonna look at this one. So just kind of highlight the areas that you think are good to keep in our walkthrough form. Yeah, they are different. This is just to give us kind of like an idea of what to include in the walkthrough form that we will be creating. I'm gonna give you a few minutes, and when you're done, we can talk about and discuss what can we include in the form that we are going to create, the walkthrough form. Because a lot of the times, the form might fit one teacher, but it might not fit you. It might be something different.
And also it depends on the lesson plan because
Yes.
If I'm reading this form, it says the instructor provides multiple opportunities for the students to practice instructional tasks. Sometimes the lesson could go 2 or 3 days.
Yes,
and
that is
then
correct.
during the lesson, you might provide one engaging activity for the kids. And the next day you can provide a second one. But if we do the lesson just in one day, we can't provide multiple instructional activities for the kids.
Yes, you are correct. Because yes, some lessons you cannot complete a whole lesson in one day. It might extend to even
2 or
3
3
days. So yes, but like I said, walkthrough shouldn't be more than 5 to 15 minutes long.
Mhm.
So these are the things that these are the areas and an administrator will be looking at when they come to your classroom. Like if I'm going to observe you, what are the areas that you would like me to observe you as you are presenting your lesson?
Demonstrate knowledge of content and student needs.
Mhm.
That would be.
Okay, so when you're done, we can take a
When it
couple
is
minutes.
oh, good. Aesthetically.
That means that he just is looking around and not paying attention.
Oh,
Like he's like
yeah.
looking at the
Good.
wall. That's when they're scribbling on his paper.
Oh, siempre.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the age group. Yeah. Okay, so who would like to share first? Miss B, Miss Villanueva, would you like to share first and see what areas you think we should include in a lesson in our observation form?
I would like to see that there's a positive environment.
Okay, positive environment.
Yes, that's
What I mean is that are the kids,
When those time for learning.
even though they're in kindergarten, are you promoting that, not only your lesson, but are they learning more things than just schoolwork? Are they learning positive things of,
Like behavior.
No, not behavior, but is your environment positive? Or is it
Okay.
always just instructional?
Okay, I understand. It does feel more like a home environment than just
Just an
rigorous
instructional.
environment.
Mhm.
Okay, yes.
Because that's important for kids.
Yes,
I
it
think.
is.
I don't know.
It is. Okay. Miss Concha.
Well, I know in walkthroughs this is done, but it's also important for the students to know what they're learning.
Okay.
Because if we don't
So,
explain the objectives, like
Okay.
today, we're gonna
Mhm.
be learning about coins. We're gonna identify coins. We're gonna do different activities to be able to recognize the coins in the
Mhm.
math lesson.
Yeah.
So we just have, we got, as a teacher, we gotta introduce that, and the kids
Mhm.
need to know what they're doing.
Yes.
Because sometimes in observations before, sometimes we teach the lesson, but the kids don't know exactly what is the purpose of the lesson, what
Yeah.
we're doing. So it's always very important to clarify the objectives and make the kids, especially in kindergarten level, we got to let them know what we're learning today in
Yes.
any subject.
Yes, I have. I understand what you're saying. I have observed different times, even with my students. Some of my students, not all of them, but there might be one that, and that's the one the principal will come to and ask them, "What are you doing?" I don't know. And you're like, we just went over it. But yes, I understand that. So
Yeah.
it is important for the students to understand the objective.
Yeah, sometimes, for example, on a kindergarten level,
Mhm.
okay, what are we learning today? Measurement.
Okay.
What are we doing? Measurement. You know, we're gonna measure things. We're gonna know
Yes.
what the length is. And then I have to kind of go back and review that,
Mhm.
because you ask them later what
Yes.
they're doing,
The
and
next
they
day.
don't know.
They-
The next day,
Yes.
on
and
a
they-
kindergarten level.
Yes.
That's
Well,
in kindergarten.
and that's
Yeah.
on every level. I mean,
Yes,
this has happened.
exactly.
third
So
grade
it's
and
something that
second
we
grade,
have to
there's always
repeat
that.
every single
Yes,
day.
yes.
What are we learning today? What are we gonna be learning today? Measurement. And what are we gonna measure? By length, and then we do the vocabulary by length, by capacity, by weight. So we got to do that review at the
Mhm.
beginning of the lesson just to help them to remember what we were
Yes.
learning yesterday
Yes.
on a
So
kindergarten.
prior knowledge is important. Yes. Yes, because sometimes they might forget. So
They
it's
too, on
good
the
to
kindergarten
recall
level,
the
yes.
lesson that had been taught before. And it's not only kindergarten. That's
It's
on
all the grade levels,
yes,
right?
yes. It's not only kindergarten.
I haven't seen the
Uh,
other ones.
Kids
The
are
other
They're
kids.
only getting to
the
the
other
third
Every
grade.
student has breath and teacher, where is the long time?
Yes, yes, and that's at every grade level. I mean, kids are kids; they
Mhm.
get distracted. So that's why we have
Yeah,
to
it's
go
so
over
long.
the objectives frequently,
Mhm.
daily. So yes, check for prior knowledge. Make sure
Mhm.
they understood what was taught the day before. So that's true.
Ms. Brock.
Miss Brock, anything that you would like to add to our observation form?
Maybe using class time effectively, because
Mhm.
it's very difficult sometimes to get all the kids situated where you
Yes.
can get started on time, and then to keep track of your time so that you end on time.
Yes.
And so that's very important too. And then sometimes you have things that interrupt your lesson, and then getting them back into the lesson is difficult.
Redirecting.
Mhm.
Yes. So
Yes, but on that point, I had a little observation because
mhm.
sometimes the transitions, some administrators are kind of very precisely with those transitions,
Very
and we
scripted.
also we also need to understand if we're working on a kindergarten level,
Mhm.
some kids are faster in those
Mhm.
transitions, and some other ones.
Yes.
It takes long
That-
to get their materials ready
Yes.
for them to do that. And sometimes the principals or the administrators don't see that this grade level, it takes longer for them to be ready.
Yeah, I think they need to be aware of that what grade are they in, and
Exactly.
and where should those kids be responding as far as participation, as far as being able to keep focus. And so
Yes.
I think they should really keep in mind, what grade am I in,
Exactly.
and what are the kids capable of.
Yes,
Mhm.
and also and not all the students are going to respond the same. I mean, they should. They're not, because of their individuals. Okay,
Mhm.
so not all the students are going to respond the same. Some of them, like you ladies mentioned before, they might understand it quicker, especially with transitions. They might listen to the transition and do it as soon as you say it. And other ones might need a little bit more reinforcement to do the transition, or might take longer. Maybe those are the kind of students that take forever to gather their stuff and get in line. But it's not that the teacher is not doing the transitions, it's just the student's individual personality. So I think that also plays a role. So instead of focusing on just one student that maybe didn't follow the transitions or the expected behavior, the rest of the class did it. Because I understand sometimes you might have like bad excess minus points because of the one student that didn't do it. But what about the rest? Did they do it? So I think it shouldn't be
Penalized.
because of the individuality. Not all the kids respond the same.
And we could go back to where we were talking before and add another point, like you were saying, that they always go to that one kid they shouldn't go to and ask, what are you learning today? Maybe they should understand that, not just go just to one student, because they don't really know the students like you do.
Yes.
And so if they go to one student and the student can't answer the question, maybe they should try going to other students and see if they can answer the question.
Review at least 3 or 4 students, so that way they can get more feedback instead of that one.
Instead of just that
student.
one
But
student.
sometimes
Mhm.
half of the class.
Yeah.
Because no, sometimes the students get shy and they don't want to
Mhm.
express themselves.
Or that's
Yeah.
I don't
And then
know.
as a teacher,
Yeah, I don't know.
please go to the next one
Yeah.
because this one didn't answer. So they need to kind of walk around and just don't focus on the kids that are sitting in the back.
Yes.
Because sometimes that's what the administrators do. They sit in, they go in the back of the room and just pick the students that are in the back of the room.
Yes.
And normally those are a little bit distracted sometimes.
Yes.
So it's like a walking around the classroom
Mhm.
than just being in the back of the classroom.
Yes. So to review, let's see. So our observation form should have a way to kind of like check, review, and see if there is a positive environment, if the environment feels comfortable, the classroom, basically, is the classroom neatly organized? Is everything where they need it to be?
Maybe Miss Maria
And
wanted
also
to-
that we go over objectives with the kids daily, check prior knowledge, using class time effectively. Are we using the transitions effectively? We have to take in consideration student individuality and talk to more than one student. Does that sound right to you, ladies?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's student engagement.
And
Student engagement, yes.
That's very important.
That's
Okay.
very important.
Okay, I know you ladies need to go, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Okay, so the next thing in the agenda is I need to observe one of you ladies using the new observation form. I'm gonna gather all the information that you have. Who would you like to go?
The senior-
Miss
the
Brock
senior-
or Miss Villanueva?
Miss Senior, we'll give it to our senior teacher. Yes, we all vote for
Will
our
that be
senior
fine with you,
teacher.
Miss Brock?
That's fine.
Okay, so I will be observing Miss Brock. Okay, and I want to thank you, ladies, for taking your time. I know your time is valuable. And you want your time to do all the things that you don't have time to do when you have the kids. So I really want to thank you because this information is very useful. And I will create the form with all the information that you ladies give to me. And again, thank you.
No, thank
And
you.
I'm going to end the session.
Linda, too. Ahí conmigo.